Hello, and welcome to our December consciousness update. So, we're really in a time of transition. I'm calling this time, well, it's a shift of the ages. We're moving from the age of Pisces, which was about hierarchical control, it was about external knowing, giving your power away. It was about the organized religions and our spirituality outside ourselves. It was also about sacrifice, victimization, and suffering. So we're moving now to the age of Aquarius. Some people say it started on November 20th. Some people say it's going to start on the spring equinox of 2025. It doesn't matter. These periods are, these epochs are 2,500 years long. So they don't start in one moment, but we're in that transitional phase. So the transitional phase is a good time to take stock in what's been and chart a clear path for yourself on what's moving forward. December, being the last month of the year, is always a good time to reflect and decide what goes and what stays. So I'm inviting all of us for the topic for December is personal deep dive. Really spend some time in your busyness to go deep and look at what you want to consciously let go of and what you want to take into this new year or this new period. So it is a time of soul searching, which means give yourself some quiet time, some meditation, some warm, snuggly days where you stay in your bed a little longer. It's a time for reflection and for going inside yourself. So the Aquarian age that we're moving into is about self-empowerment. It's about inner truth rather than external, about knowing yourself. It's connection with, first of all, yourself, but then connection with this greater oneness. In fact, my guide Mark is calling 2025 the year for reconnection. So let's use December to decide what we want to disconnect from, so we're open to reconnect to what this new age, new world has to offer for us. So I invite you to really be clear-eyed as you recalibrate what's been important to you and what you want for the future. This has been and will continue to be a period of uncertainty, a lot of upheaval, but we know that the farmer does not plant the grain until he upturns the soil, and that's where we are now. So growth and uncertainty always go hand in hand. We hate uncertainty, but that's when we grow. Winemakers know that the vines that are stressed and have to struggle actually make the better wine. So that's the time we're in. And it's an evolutionary period. Where we're moving is a huge awakening. We can't stand in its way. We can just roll with it. We will not lose. This huge awakening is promised. There will not be a downturn of everything we know, life on Earth. It will be rocky for a while, but it's this birth of this new stage, this new age, where as individuals and as society, spirituality becomes more important than just materiality. So The other thing about December, about this month that we're in, is it has the busyness of the holidays, but it also has fiery energy. And we've passed through times of this before. So 3 things about the fiery energy that you may be feeling. One is it illuminates. So in this deep dive month, I invite you to let be illuminated the things that you've ignored or repressed about yourself. Have illuminated what areas you're finally ready to heal and to look at and not to ignore anymore. And also illuminate what you need to release, what will not serve you 1 month, 1 year longer. So use the illumination of this period. The second part is this fiery energy. It burns away what no longer serves you. Again, be conscious of what no longer serves you. Offer it to the fire. Offer it to be burned away. And go deep, because some things that are familiar for you, that you're used to, may not be the ones that are the best for you. So offer those to the fire. And the third part of this fiery month is fire ignites. So look at yourself and see, what are you ready to ignite in your soul? What things get you moving? What things excite you? What do you want to create? So it's a time for being conscious of igniting the things that you want to grow and expand in this new year. We're turning the burner on now, even if it's not a huge flame. So in the busyness, still look for opportunities to ignite and see what's important to you, to maybe jumpstart some new opportunities, to rekindle some relationships, some friendships. And the last question I invite you to ask, not the last question, but I invite you to ask is, what do you want or need that you've stopped looking for, that you've given up? What do you want or need that you've actually stopped looking for? I saw an example of this. I'm in our house in Sedona and haven't been here for 6 months, and I always have a bird feeder. So I filled the bird feeder with bird seed, and no birds came. And then I thought, well, maybe I bought the cheap seed and they could smell it and they're not going to eat my bird seed. And then after no birds at all, 10 days after I hung that bird feeder, all of a sudden, almost instantaneously, all kinds of birds of many species are there. And what it made me realize is sometimes we stop looking for something. It's there for us, but we've got other habits and patterns and we've stopped looking for it. So the birds had stopped looking in our yard for food. So please look for what you want and it will be there. So this year, December, this month, deep dive, be honest with yourself. This is a good time to review the year. Look at what excuses you've made for yourself and for other people. The excuses that prevent you from changing or growing. Look at where you sabotage yourself in this year review, where you've sabotaged your success or your happiness. And also be really clear with yourself that we all have spiritual laziness. question it. Look deeply at where you've been lazy, where, oh, I'll do it another time. Oh, this habit is just so comfy to me, even though it doesn't work. This relationship I'm going to hang on to because I always have. Look at your spiritual and personal laziness, and let's make new decisions this month. Let's ignite these new decisions so that next year, in the year of in the age of Aquarius, we're giving birth to what needs to be born, not what's come before. So remember, yes, there's uncertainty. It shakes things up, and shaking things up is a good thing. It's like we're taking this liquid that has all these things floating in it, and we shake it up. And what happens is some of the things we haven't seen float to the top. And that's what I invite you to look at. And some of those things that float to the top during these uncertain times are disconcerting, or they are old, deep issues or wounds. I invite you to look at what's floating to the surface of your consciousness and see if those things still trigger you, or what you can do to neutralize those old triggers. I saw this a few days ago. I had a massage, and the massage therapist was working on an area, and she said, "Oh my gosh, you really have a lot of tightness there. Do you know what that could be?" And without blinking an eye, I said, "Yeah, I was molested by my grandfather when I was young." It wasn't that I said that. It's for the very first time I noticed that I said it with absolutely no charge. There was no trigger, no energy, no, I need to forgive him, no, I still have to heal it. It was gone. So during these shake-up times, these fiery times, see where your triggers still lie and use your spiritual know-how, your heart, your soul, to neutralize them. So when we all give birth to this new age, it's truly the one we want. So to help you with all this, we have 3 events this December, and I know you have tons of parties and everything else, but the first one is this Thursday. This is 12/12/2024. It's a big gateway for conscious completions, and that's a lot of what I've been talking about. So my guide Mark is going to channel a 3-hour class that starts at 11 a.m. on Thursday, 12/12, Denver time, 1700 for those of you in Europe. It's recorded, so you don't have to be live, but it's conscious completions where we're completing what we need to complete, not just for this year, but forever, and empower new beginnings, clearing out karma, clearing out past lives. I've seen huge shifts in people. So let's all get together on 12/12 for conscious completions, a 3-hour seminar, channeled seminar on Zoom. The next thing that happens this month is next week on December 16th. We're going to have our first Mark class of a brand new series, and this is continuing in the 12th dimension. But this series is called Keys to Ascension, and we're going to be working with the keys and codes that have been dormant in us that lift us to these new planes, these evolutionary planes that we are in. So the Mark classes are phenomenal. You don't have to ever have done them before, because everything we've ever done is encapsulated in every single class. You just come in and you are with us in this amazing space that, I've been doing Mark for 35 years. I've never been bored, and I've never ceased to have new experiences every single Monday. So Monday, December 16th, Keys to Ascension, will begin our 8-week Mark course. And lastly, but not least, is our Healing Activations trilogy for this year. The last trilogy, number 3, the last activation is on December 30th. That's a Monday. And this is called, it's a powerful lunar portal, and it's called A Star is Born, giving us the energy for the new year, a breakthrough energy. December 30th is the second new moon in December. It's called a black moon, and I'm calling it the first new moon of 2025. So it's really a time for new beginnings and for lifting us into our brilliance. If you haven't done the trilogies, you can purchase all of them for $99, and I suggest you do all 3. But if not, just join us on December 30th for creating the perfect beginning for 2025 and the rest of our lives. So this is happy holidays to all of you. And I know that we get stressed because there's so much fun, but there's so much to do. And my parting gift to you is to remind you that stressed, spelled backwards, is desserts. So have lots of desserts this month and forever. Thank you. Have a great month.